Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in to the Eyes of Life show. My name is Yolo Schubert. I am your host. I thank you for watching today. Today we have an awesome show for you. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and why we need to vote because of his insight on how he feels America should be great and how he wants to make America great again. So, like I said, we have an awesome show today. We're going to talk to you about him because people need to know who he is. Like people read bits and pieces, they hear bits and pieces, they hear a lot of things. But let's dive into this man and why Americans are so blinded by putting him and wanting to put him back in office. Needless to say, I don't think he should have been allowed to be in office the first time when he ran and he won. I don't think he should have been able to even do that because of the accusations and the allegations and the things that they said that this man had stacked against him. But yet and still, they put him in office. And I'm praying they don't overlook the things that took place when he was in office and when he left office. And now the things that are actually going on and now are coming to the light. A lot of people are failing to realize these things are actually happening. They are not just, people that just want to do these things and say these things about him and want to take him to trial and to blame it on Democrats. These are things that you did yourself. you know that's one thing I must say. I can never understand about people. How do you do things and then don't want to take accountability? All this is about is taking accountability for your actions and the things that you have done. And as a grown man, so the first thing we're going to talk about with Mr. Donald Trump is the businessman. Now, based on Donald Trump, he states he's a great businessman. But is he really? Is he really a great businessman? So let's talk about him as a businessman. Him as a businessman, yes, he built a few businesses, but yet, however, how did he do? How did he do as a businessman? Was he successful in his businesses? I'm quite sure he may have been successful in maybe a few of his businesses or one or two of his businesses, but can he actually put out there to America, to society, and say, oh, I was a great businessman? I did all these great things as a businessman. No, 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 you didn't. So let's see. Like I said, yes, he built a few things. The Taj Mahal in 1990. Okay, but he built the Taj Mahal in 1990. But however, in 1992, he defaulted on his interest in the Taj Mahal. So is that making him a great businessman? If you defaulting, now you have money, but you are defaulting on your interest. Now I know the Taj Mahal. People used to go there, play the slot machines. That was the casino. It was bringing in money. But so how do you default on that? That was one bankruptcy that he filed. He filed for another bankruptcy in 2004 after he went into debt for $1.8 billion. Again, he filed bankruptcy in 2009. 3 times that I just said. I mean, come on. And he did that in 2009 after he claimed he was in a recession. Now, people like me, we always in a recession. You know, we don't have $1 billion to even think we're going to go that far in debt. The common American folks are constantly struggle to fight to stay out of debt. They're struggling to fight to keep their homes, their vehicles, put food on the table, clothe themselves and their children. But this is a man of a certain statute. So you file in a chapter 11. And for those that don't know what a chapter 11 is, let me just break it down to you as a retired bankruptcy specialist. When you file in chapter 11, that means, you want to either change your business name. A lot of them change their business name. They open up the business under a new name. They don't, is an issue with their board. So these are things that they file bankruptcy for. Some file a 7, some file an 11, some file a 13. Okay, 13s and 11s sometimes work hand in hand, like a reconciliation. However, this man did it 3 times. 3. So to me, no, that does not make Donald Trump a great businessman. And all these farmers, people are out there that have their own business that assume that he's a great businessman, please do not follow in his footsteps. Because if you're following his footsteps, you're going to find yourself in bankruptcy multiple different times. So therefore, he's not the one you need to be voting for to put back in office. Because I know I wouldn't want to follow somebody that has filed bankruptcy that many times. And if you look it up, it says Trump filed bankruptcy at least 4 to 6 times. So how, once again, does that make you a great business partner, a great businessman? It does not. But you listen to him, he's going to tell you he was a great businessman. Do your research, do your work, and find out for yourself. And I guarantee you, you'd be surprised of the lies he claimed that didn't take place, didn't happen. Oh, this happened, that happened. Please take a good look at him. So let's talk about while he was in the White House. Now, for me, no, I would never, ever call him president. I'm not the biggest. I don't hate the man. However, the things that took place and began and started coming to the surface while he was in office set this country back over, I want to say 70 years. So let's talk about that and why I say the things that I'm saying. As he would like to call himself the best president in this country, and this country has seen in about almost 300 years. Well, I want to beg to differ on that because no, I don't think he was the best. I don't think he come close to even being. I don't think he fit in that best category, period. Not at all. Under his term in the White House, the things this country began to see, like bigotry, racism resurfacing. Now, saying racism wasn't there, racism was always there, but the way it resurfaced so fast till it put minorities on a panic attack. Like, okay, I don't know what we expect to happen. You walking out your door, you don't know what to expect as a minority. So this type of things took place. Now, racism in this country was very hard during the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s. And even for me, as I was going to school during the 80s, I had to fight through a gang of white Irish male teenagers. These were teenagers that were like 17 and 18 and 19, even some that were even grown, that we had to fight through just to get to school. And for some of my Thomas Junior High School cohorts that went to Thomas Junior High, that lived in my neighborhood, this time of year, every year, from April until we got out of school in June, we had to fight through the streets just to get to school. Oh, it was a big struggle to get from, I want to say, not even Porter Street, Ritner Street, Wolf Street, to come through there, 7th Street, coming down 6th Street, sometimes even coming down 8th Street. There was a struggle just to try to avoid the racism, just so you can get to school. So yes, my fellow neighbors and family members of the 7th Street people, where I grew up in South Philadelphia, for those that went to Thomas Junior High School, these are things that we faced. Sometimes you had to carry a weapon just to protect yourself. So yes, those things like that had even resurfaced. Okay, so let's talk about while he was in, office. His favorite, always bragging. Always bragging. That's what he did. Always bragging. While he gave us a stipend. Oh, yes, he gave us money, y'all. He gave us a check. We're still waiting for that $300,000 check that they should be giving us for them building up their generational wealth off of the backs of our ancestors of slavery. But he gave us this little bit of money that he claimed he gave to us. But did he really give us that money? I don't think he did. So let's talk about how he ended up with the checks. While in office, Congress wanted to give out government stipend. Okay. However, if you listen to Donald Trump, he pushed this through. No, Donald Trump held them checks up as long as he could. Those checks, when he first went into office, they started talking about, they were, wanted to do something, to help. Okay, especially around the COVID time, things they wanted to do to help the American people. Donald Trump held those checks up. And that didn't come from him. That came from the congressional leaders that went out into their community. They saw what was going on. They saw the need of the people. Donald Trump ain't care. He didn't care one bit about the lower class people, the lower middle class people, those people that couldn't get to work because of COVID. He didn't care about these things. people that were getting laid off because of things that were going on. Once again, he did not care. This is why when Biden got in office, when he won the vote and he got in the office, that's why we received 2 checks. If you notice, it wasn't hesitant. We got them 2 checks. So when he started talking about what we gave, what he gave, with his people, him, and another thing, he never gave his VP. He never gave his VP any kind of credit. Everything was a I. And the last time I checked, there was no I in team. So those are some of the things that I say. You want to look at what he's saying he did. You can't do nothing unless Congress approves it. The Senate. Things got to pass through certain things. It's, the Senate, Congress. Bills got to get passed. Has to go that way first. But this was just to give us some money to hold us over, to help us out. But he wanted to boast and brag about it. But he didn't tell the truth. He didn't tell the real truth on how Americans received that check. He almost caused the Social Security shutdown with his arrogance. And the way he have the American people to perceive like he worked so hard to get these things done. We better wake up. We better wake up. I'm telling you. Then he stole classified documents, y'all. Classified documents once he left the White House. And when subpoenaed to return the documents, once again, he lied. Yes, he did. And hid them. He hid them. The FBI even went as far as to have his home raided. Just return the documents. I don't know why he was in the White House. He took down a picture of Obama. Oh, he took it down. Obama was preparing for a cure for us for COVID. Everything Obama had in reference to COVID, because he knew it was coming. Everything he had, he destroyed it. The lab that he was trying to have built. He destroyed it. He even had them bringing a whole new toilet system because it was a black family in the daggone White House before he went in there. But yet and still, this is the man that this country wanted to put back in office. Wow. That's, that's a real big wow moment. As a racist. Now, this is Donald Trump as a racist. And the reason why I say him as a racist, because some of the things he have said out his mouth, the company that he keeps, and the fact that his father was a Klansman. And these type of things were installed in him. Because you don't wake up and be a racist. You're not born as a racist. You're taught to be a racist. That's a hate. That's something that's taught. It's hateful. Trump comes from a racist family background. His father was part of the KKK. And if you don't know what KKK is, it's called the Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux Klan. Fred Trump was arrested at a Klan rally in Queens, New York City in 1927. This was a rally that took place between, I guess, about 1,000 Ku Klux Klanmen, along with some New York finest during that time. And after the rally, he was arrested. Although the charges was dropped, But still, these things are being taught. This bigotry, this ignorance was being taught. He never denied being in contact or being, if you ever listen to him talk, okay, he, when things were going down and he thought, oh, we cheated in the election, that's why he wasn't re-election, and I told the Proud Boys to stand down. Well, everybody know that the Proud Boys is definitely a racist group of men and women that are teaching their children to be just as racist. He does not deny these things. That's one. These are two things now. Okay, two things. Let's take a little bit of step back now. We talked about his business. Let's talk about one of the businesses things he had going where he was breaking ground. Okay. He hired Polish men. He hired Polish contractors. He hired these Polish contractors to work for him on one of his projects where he hired them to break ground. But they immigrants to Trump. He didn't want to pay them. He didn't want to pay these people. Now they did all this work, but he didn't want to pay him. Let me tell you what he did. He sought advice from Sullivan on how he could get around not paying these people. And everybody know you work hard, you got families to feed, and you done did all this work, you're not going to pay me? Come on. That is the harshest thing. That's harsh. Really harsh. To seek advice so you don't have to pay your employees. What kind of employer does that? And let me tell you what he threatened them with. Trump threatened to notify the Immigration and Nationalization Service to have the workers deported. He also threatened to have a criminal deportation done on all non-white immigrants. All white. If you ain't white but you an immigrant, don't worry, you don't have nothing to worry about. But the non-white immigrants who are coming into the United States, he planned on, yes, he did. Criminal deportation. He states it even today as he running for re-election. He constantly states this comment. Constantly. He even go as far as saying the immigrants that are coming into this country are the Biden immigrants invading our country. Invading our country. Based on Trump, these people are all rapists. Okay? They either been in jail, they raping the women. Our women of America. They're raping them. Another biased statement. These people are from Asia, Honduras, Africa, Congo. Okay, and the things he said about the African Congo people who are prisoners, who when they come to this country, they don't want to talk about, oh, why were you in prison? I don't want to talk about it. Now, you guys know that for a fact. If you're coming through immigration, you don't tell immigration what you don't want to talk about because, see, you're trying to come here. You have to answer these questions. Any person that's educated will understand these things, but for some reason, people turn a dumb eye to what Trump says. And I don't understand that. People better wake up. And then he goes as far and says, they look like apes. They muscular men who look like apes. Seriously? Because I've seen some of my ancestors from the 1700s have some pictures, 1800s, but yet and still, I didn't see nobody look like an ape to me. Don't look like an ape to me. The Middle East people, Yemen and China, he says they're all trying to take over the country from within, from inside the country. Now, this is what gets me. This country was based on immigrants. They migrated from England, Scotland. These people came here. They stole the land from the Native Americans. So they were the first immigrants. But now you want to say you want to stop these people from coming in here? This is what this country was based on. They wasn't the first people here. Christopher Columbus never even stepped foot on America. But yet and still, if you listen to the stories that they're telling in the schools, come on now. Come on now. People, please pay attention. Listen, pay attention. Do the work. Look at what this man is saying. And he believes his own crap. He believes it. So, you know he's trying to do with the Mexicans, but yet and still Mexicans and Hispanics, y'all think y'all are not in favor of Donald Trump. Not in favor. At all. And he want to talk about the Spanish, the Mexicans, all that is all coming out of Spain. Another person that was going and kidnapping black folks and putting them into slavery. So when you want to start talking about immigration, start with your own people. Because I don't know who told y'all that y'all make this country great. And if this is the way he believes that this country should be great again, we are in for a world of trouble if this man gets back in office. We are definitely in a world of trouble. So let's talk about Trump, the convicted felon. Now, we all know Trump he should have been brought up on some charges before he ran for president the first time. But no, he didn't. And he's quick to say, well, if the feds didn't want to bring up this case, Trump has more people in his pockets and no more dirt about these higher up people in office than a little bit. That's why he talks about Weinstein. All these higher up folks that were part of Weinstein's scandal, what he did. Come on now. It wasn't that. I don't believe not one. If they can arrest Bill Cosby for something that took place with some bogus stuff from years ago, what make him think he is any better? He's not no better. The indictments were for federal election interference, Georgia election interference, and classified documents. Those were the indictments. However, he was convicted on all 34 charges. All 34 charges. Now, everybody lied but Trump. Trump told the truth on everything. Everything. He spoke the truth on. He didn't lie about anything. Hush money. The people that did testify, Stormy Daniels, Cohen, David Becker, these people that testified, they, falsifying business documents. He didn't do none of these things. Now, the type of man Trump is, there's nothing that went down that he signed. He didn't know what the heck he was signing. I don't believe that for a word, because he is a control freak. He's a narcissist and a control freak. He is. Trump claims the trial was a disgrace It was rigged. It was a rigged trial. Why does trials have to be rigged? Because he couldn't get it in the jurisdiction that he wanted it in. Because if he would have moved it to the jurisdiction that he wanted in, he may have had a favor with the judge because they may have been in his pocket. You got to read between the lines with this man. Why did the judge have to be corrupt? Because he couldn't pay him off. Anybody he can't pay off or get in a good gracious with, or anyone that he doesn't have any dirt on, is corrupt. They are corrupt. Every last person is corrupt. The jury was not a jury of his peers, but a bogus jury. What the heck is a bogus jury? In order for you to be a jury, you got to be an American citizen. So a jury of his peers would have been an all-white jury. That's a jury of his peers, stating they were not United States citizens. This is what he claimed. They were not United States citizens, claiming he is innocent in all charges. Once again, narcissist. Does things, don't want to admit to what he did. The man is delusional, above delusional. Some of the things, if he think people was going to lay down and just let people just do whatever to them, because the way he thinks America should be great again, that's not going to happen ever. Not in this day and time. Even his own legal team made a racist comment. One of the members on Trump team, after he realized he was found guilty on all charges, he was so hysterical. He was so angry of him being convicted of all 34 charges. He went in front of the news media and started speaking to the news media in rage by saying, "We are not going to stand for this." And I quote him, "We are white." So what does that mean? We are white. What does that mean? All of us got some white in us. Our skin may not be the same color. But what, please somebody tell me what that actually means. By saying we are not going to, Trump is set for sentencing on July the 11th, 2024. However, I do not believe that he's going to go to jail. He may be put on some type of whatever. And that's if they even do that. Okay? I don't think he is. I don't think he's going to pay for anything that he's done. And that's because of his statute. Does he deserve to be punished like everybody else? Of course. I don't care what they claim. He got his the presidency and his title is this and that. I don't care. He is not above the law. So stop trying to make it seem like he's above the law. And then he threatens people, but yet and still he talking about something. He may be in danger. How you figure you the one threatening people? This don't go your way. Making rude and obnoxious comments about people when things don't go his way. But yet, America don't want to look at that. And the fact that when he's talking about these immigrants, these people is out there saying, go home, send them back home, put them on send them back, put them out. These people is crazy. Did somebody send your ancestor back when they came over here? When they lied and stole and killed those Indians? If that's the way you want to feel. That's what should have happened to your people. Then you wouldn't be here. So us wouldn't be living off of generational wealth. I know I'm not living off of generational wealth. My ancestors didn't have any. However, they enslavers did. So that's another thing. I don't think he's going to jail. I don't even think the man gonna get house arrest. I don't think so. It is sad. I would have to say this. In this country's constitution, there is nothing that can stop this man from running for president. However, if you are a convicted felon in this country, you're not supposed to be able to vote. So I say this, anybody out there that's a convicted felon, anybody out there that has committed a crime and got a felony, if they allow this man to vote, I suggest you go out there and you get you a voter's registration card and you go vote. Because it's not fair that this man is allowed to vote and he's a convicted felon. He's been found guilty. I don't care what the charge is. A felony is a felony. If that's what you got, you got. Bottom line. And if this is the way he feels America should be great, under the way he thinks it should be great, I think I'm going to have to move and leave the country, y'all, because it's no way I will be able to survive the way my ancestors did. And in my closing arguments about Donald Trump, I don't feel he should be reelected as president. I don't feel he should be allowed to even run for president. And one thing I would never do is call that man a president. They can say it's biased. They can call me racist. They can call me anything they want to call YOLO Schubert. But that's one thing I've never been. But the things he did while he was in that office was a disgrace to America's citizens. I want to thank you for joining me, your host, YOLO Schubert, on the Eyes of Life show. Join us here on Thursdays at 6 p.m. as we bring you different topics and where we talk about everything. Enjoy your night. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.